Hey everybody, welcome to the video, welcome to the channel. My name is Mike. If you're from the Captain Kleeman channel, which is our main channel, or our other channel, where we work on bigger projects like this, like the dump truck project we're getting ready to start on, the backhoe rebuild that we did, the YouTube yacht project, which is a boat themed and shaped rental cabin we're working on. Just know this is actually the Kleeman channel. It is our second channel where we work on smaller stuff around the homestead, mainly tractor repairs, vehicle repairs, chainsaw repairs, things of that sort, stuff that we have to do to keep the homestead moving. Shorter videos, but equally as good content. And if you're new, well, welcome all together, and I hope you subscribe. So I'm gonna cut right to the chase. I had a buddy ask me the other day if I've ever heard of HIPA or HIPA. Honestly, not 100% sure how I pronounce it. He said they sell chainsaw chains, I think carburetors and stuff like that too. And he was looking at them. He was just curious if I've tried them. I said, man, honestly, never heard of them, don't know anything about them. But he said, well, if you ever do, let me know. So I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna reach out to them, see if they'll send me some stuff. Just kind of cleaning this mess out. Look at that. She's a little gunky in there. So I reached out to him. And I said, hey, I'd love to try your product, love to try your chains, just kind of see what they're all about. And they said, sure. So they sent me some chains. Now today we're gonna be running the itty bitty cordless, brushless Ryobi 40-volt chainsaw, but they also sent a chain for my 372 and for my 55 as well, but we'll be doing that in a different video. I've got some sections of bigger ash that I need to get cut up and split that the wood processor couldn't handle. So we'll test those bigger chains out on some of that stuff. So we will get to try their chains out on some bigger saws. But for what we're doing today, which I've been needing to do for a long time, this little handy thing is the perfect tool. No partnership with Ryobi on this. I've had this for several years. It lives out in the weather. It's actually held up pretty well. I'm just curious if I can find a decent price point chain that's gonna hold up well for me. So our packaging looks like on the chain on the back. I think this one is for the 55. Stand by. I grabbed the wrong chain. That looks more like it for this little fella. The old chain dance. You just keep doing that. Eventually she'll come out of it. Make sure you got the teeth going the right way. That always helps things. Now the main thing that attracted my buddy towards here was the price point. He said he saw some chains on there for sale for like $5. Now I think this chain, now I can't remember. I'll flash it up on the screen what it cost. And the other ones I got were normally like 15 bucks, 20 bucks for a pack of 3 or something like that. If I'm clever with my editing, I'll flash it up on the screen so you can actually see the prices. But I did notice it looks like they run a whole lot of sales and discounts and that kind of thing. What we're doing today is where the abandoned footing or foundation property is and runs into the new property we just acquired. We're doing kind of one of my favorite things. We're gonna take the little cordless saw around and go through and start killing a whole bunch of vines. I got grapevines and poison ivy all over the place, and I want to start getting it taken care of. Here's what we're battling. You can see the grapevines and some other vines, working with the grapevines. But they get up there, they smother the top of that tree out and end up killing it. That tree doesn't have any top left and it's dead. We're gonna go ahead and cut the vines just to kill them. There are a bunch of little cedar seedlings all over this property too, which is kind of cool. Look at the size of that thing. Just living its best life, smothering out all my trees. Goodness. Look at the way this one's spiraled its way, choking that one off. There are some decent sized cedars on this property. But you see it's got vines climbing it there. And it's got this sneaky fella right in there, trying to do its damage. So I just noticed something cool. These cedar trees, see that double cedar tree? There, there, there. They're in a row. And I'm pretty sure these cedar trees, I think that's my property border. We're gonna walk up that way a little bit, whacking some more vines. See if I can see any more evidence of that. But I think that's the property line. I think they were planted in a row like that. Look how bad this cedar is. Heck, there's almost more vines growing on it than there is tree. Look at the water dripping out of this grapevine. That's another problem for these vines, especially when it gets dry. They'll pull a bunch of moisture out of the ground whenever the tree needs it. We're making some progress on this one. Look at the size of this tree, and it's right. As I'm thinking about it, they probably didn't plant those cedar trees. It was probably a fence row that ran right through here. And those cedar trees grew up through that fence row. I'm guessing this hackberry was probably part of that same fence row, which is why it never got cut down. But it's got such a huge canopy. Look at the vines way out here on the edge of the canopy weighing it down. And we're gonna try to get this tree cleaned up right quick. I did not expect to find this. This is pretty cool. The slight problem, I got excited. I don't know where I put the saw. Got to figure that out. I think we're all familiar with the leaves of 3 Let It Be with poison ivy, but if a fella's not familiar with what the vines look like by themselves, they're hairy like that. Don't go grabbing any hairy vines. It's not going to end up well for you. And whenever I'm done with this, I always use Dawn dish soap to shower with because supposedly it washes the oil off. I don't really get poison ivy that bad, so maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, I don't know. There's also all these little hackberries that have popped up from the root systems, almost in a perfect concentric circle all the way around it. See, there's one there and there and there. That might be on the neighbor's property, but I'm going to cut these down on this side. It definitely feels a bit overwhelming and like you're not making any progress at times, but this is how our other properties started out, kind of a mess like this, and we slowly get them in shape, and eventually they'll kind of just take care of themselves. I'm standing right where that fence row looks like it used to be, and there's one big cedar tree, oh, I don't know, 20, 30 yards that way. I want to walk down, because I think from there I could see where our other property pin is, and see if I'm correct that that is the property line. I am blown away by the amount of cedar seedlings that are everywhere. They're just all throughout this whole hillside, everywhere you look. Well, let's see if there's anything crazy like missing teeth or something. looks like a chainsaw chain. The cut seemed okay. Of course, we've still got the rakers or depth gauge, whatever you want to call it. They're still full height. The real question is going to be how it takes a file or my little grinder that I use. We may try that out. I say we try out the little Chicago Electric benchtop grinder when we run the one on the 372. Now here's the kicker, and here's the disclaimer that I always throw in there when it comes to buying things at a price point. Now I've run Oregon chains. I got some Oregon chains. I got some Husqvarna chains, and I like all of them. I think they do a fairly decent job all the way around. I'm not a logger. I'm not out cutting every day. I'm not an arborist. I'm not cutting every day. I just have some property that we try to maintain, and I'm looking for some chains that I can afford. They're going to be decent quality, and they're going to work for me. I'm going to keep running this for the time being. If you want to see how it holds up in the long run, that subscription button with the notification, that's how you can do that. There's going to be a link in the description if you want to go to the website and check it out. If you don't, well, heck, you don't have to, but ain't nobody making you do anything. I do appreciate you watching, and I can't wait to throw one of these on the big chain, on the bigger saw, and see how it does when we get into some of that hardwood and cut up some of that firewood. I think that's going to be a good time. Hope you guys are enjoying whatever it is you're doing today. I know I am. I don't know, I got nothing else. I'll catch you on the next one.